Hello everyone, it is June 24th, the start of a new vlog because I got my edit letter from my editor last night. A little worried about her sleep schedule. I think she sent it to me at like midnight or 1 a.m. her time. But that means I'm about to dive into developmental edits on Murder, She Texted, my next YA thriller. And I mean, I will tell you, the edit letter wasn't as intense as I was expecting, so I'm kind of like, did I somehow actually do okay on this book? Oh, kitten. So that's the other update, probably what you're really here for. We'll get back to the rating in a second. I adopted kittens. As you may know, I lost my beloved cat Peta in March to cancer. It was very sudden, very devastating, and I mean, I'm definitely not over it, so to speak, but I had this moment in early June. So this like cleansing moment of I turned in my manuscript, it's summer, lockdown is over in California, like I'm seeing people again, and I just mentally was like, I think I'm ready to adopt kittens. I decided on kittens. I've never had kittens before. I've always gotten adult cats before this, but my friend was fostering, and so I had some strong sense of the cat's personality, which very important for me in this case. As I said, if I didn't have Teddy, who's my old man cat, I wouldn't have gotten kittens. I like to adopt older cats when I can. I like that their personalities are set, but they say very often that when you have an older established cat, that kittens can go very well, that an older cat can acclimate to kittens, provided you introduce them well and that you get kittens, plural, at least two, so that they socialize with each other and don't annoy the old man cat. And they do annoy the old man cat, but they actually acclimated really, really fast. I'm 10 days into having kittens, and Teddy's just kind of like, he'll like on the side look at them and be like, they've done some nose touching, they've booped each other a few times, they can eat next to each other, they can play with each other. I'm just like waiting for them to like sleep together and bathe, because the whole thing is Teddy cannot be a solo cat. Like this is now a cat lady vlog basically, and I knew that, which is why I got kittens, because he's never been alone and he likes other cats. Long story short, after I conclude the rest of this like writing update, you're gonna get B-roll of kittens, which is what everybody wants. I have been filming them since I got them. I'm like low-key obsessed with capturing clips of them being adorable on video, so lots of kitten B-roll in this and very likely future vlogs. But writing, dev edits. So the letter wasn't as intense as I was expecting, I guess, and I think that's just a worst case scenario thing. That's just like catastrophizing as an author, as we are wont to do. And yet somehow I managed to write a book that my editor doesn't have any major problems with. Like, structurally, it's mostly gonna stay the same, so all that chaos process vlogging you watched somehow worked out. I guess I do know how to write thrillers. Go me. Like, she has notes on things that make sense to me. Even when I sent it to her, I was like, I want to work on theming, I want to work on character arcs. Hello, little kitten.
Bronte, yeah, you're a sweet girl. Oh.
And I did send it to her technically without a final chapter, so we're fine-tuning that, but it's really, she has some very good suggestions for kind of staging, setup, pacing in Act 1, some good, but definitely slightly, I mean, the Act 1 suggestion is a little challenging as well, like challenging suggestions for Act 2, like meaning things that I know are very good ideas, but I'm in the stage, I'm, you know, talking to my beta readers, so I'd also given the book to, because I'm like, I have to bounce this off of someone, because like, I know this is a good note and I know it's a good suggestion, but it presents challenges to execute it. Help me brainstorm. And then I'm having a call with my editor on Monday, because I like to have calls after getting edit letters, and I'm gonna go over it with her, and we're gonna come up with the game plan. So next week, this time next week, I will be revising Murder, She Texted, going full on into revision mode. Kind of scary, but exciting. It's a book. This is happening. So welcome to the Murder, She Texted developmental edit vlog with 50% kittens. Look at her pretty eyes.
baby. Oh, you're so cute. Here's Leo. He's the boy cat, the baby brother cat.
It's June 26th. I did my Ivy's live stream, and today is the day I tried to make a cheesecake in my Instant Pot. I didn't film most of the cooking. I didn't film because honestly it was a little bit chaotic and I was unsure, but let's take a look. We're gonna try this. Can you really make cheesecake in the Instant Pot? I'm trying it with a key lime recipe, though I didn't use key limes, I used regular limes. It's fine. I literally bought a special springform pan just for this. I heard you have to make a sling. I made it and use the trivet, they say, and it awkwardly fits, but we're gonna try it. I mean, it looks like a cake. Now I have to let it cool. Looks like cheesecake. Now for the moment of truth. Pretty good. Wow. Yeah, okay, you can make a dang good cheesecake in the Instant Pot. Alright. It's Tuesday, June 29th, and this is part of my ever-evolving quest to find different spots within a few inches in my apartment to film so that every vlog doesn't look the same. Plus got some nice like backlighting going on. And yeah, I do want to show you my eyeshadow. Pat freaking McGrath. I have a problem. I keep buying it. No regrets. This is insane. And I didn't even put on the topper that came with this kit. Kind of hard to see, but it's basically like an iridescent jelly. Yeah, it's happening. This is the little insert that came with this product. And what's funny is I bought it thinking, well, I like blue. Blue's good, but I'm pleased to report, as you can kind of see, on me, on my skin tone with my eye color, it really throws purple, which is perfect because I'm obsessed with purple eyeshadow. It's exactly everything I could have hoped and dreamed for. And while I have you, while we're talking about makeup, before I clue you in onto my call that I had with my editor yesterday and revision, which is happening. I technically started last night. I do have an eyeshadow problem. It's fine. This is the other Pat palette that I treated myself to a few weeks ago. Like, it arrived last week. Oh my gosh, it's kind of hard to like show off how nice it is, especially these just like register as like light looking shades. Pat McGrath's formula, like I'd heard told of the Pat McGrath formula and that there was a reason these palettes were $125, and for years I was just like, I would never. Well, now I would. Now I've become that makeup consumer where it's like, you know, with a lot of products, well, I've now discovered when you make that jump to the 125, so a lot of it is the packaging, and the packaging is amazing on these. The product is worth that price point. And so far I've gotten more like use and ROI out of these palette. This is my other one. Almost every video I've made for the last like month and a half, I've been wearing this palette. Getting more like wear and worth out of it than I had on some of the $60 palettes that I'd bought from other brands. Though then I also just was a weak person and I bought this. another influencer palette. I don't even watch Laura Lee. I've never tried a Laura Lee product, but it came up on my radar via Reddit. She did a palette with her niece, and I have the taste of a 16-year-old, clearly, because I bought it because of these colors. It is a candy pastel palette, and I was just like, this is half shimmers, half mattes. And I am just a slut for good purples and pinks specifically. I basically bought this palette really for like this side of it, although I really love these too. Like these are nice too, but like I bought it for this lavender, this sparkly purple, and then this is like an iridescent shift shade. And then the hot pink's nice too. I'm just all about this life. I've done a couple looks with this that I also really like. I'm just living my best life with makeup. I talked to my editor on the phone. So we talked for like an hour and a half yesterday. It was really nice. Just like from the letter, I said to her, I was like, I'm really kind of shocked that you don't think I have to do more work. I'm doing plenty of work, but she was like, it's in good shape structurally. Other than shifting a couple of things around, she feels it's solid, including like pacing wise. The only major pacing we're addressing is in Act 1. Nothing major in Act 2 or Act 3. She had some really like, and my editor's good at this, really good pointed and specific suggestions for like swapping sections. Like there's one, it's not even sections, there's one scene where it's more of like characters talking about something scene, and she had a very good suggestion to just like flip it to like a more active investigation kind of thing. So just good suggestions. And she had a really good suggestion for an ending note that could open us up for a sequel, which I'm very excited about. I'm just excited about the fact that my editor thought about if I write more books set in this universe, which is a whole weird thing. But yeah, I started last night because I didn't want to lose the momentum, because I got that edit letter Wednesday night last week, and I let it kind of percolate until my call with her yesterday. I didn't get super far last night because like my brain was kind of like all fuzzy and buzzy, but I did something, and that's what counts. Deadlines. I have approximately 3 weeks to do this dev pass. I could take up to 4 weeks. Essentially, between now, it is June 29th, and like August, we're gonna get this book to copy edits. My editor and I are already planning a couple of rounds, which honestly, I like that that's her style because she reads so fast, and it takes the pressure off. We even talked about, she had a couple of really good notes, but I admitted to her, I was like, it's been 4 days and I still don't have a brilliant solution to address this note. Your note's good, your note's correct. I want to do it. I can't tell you how yet. And she was like, that's fine. She even said like on those, it's specific scenes, if I need to do this pass, leave them as is with like a little flag, she knows where they are, of we'll get this on the next round, giving it more time to percolate, to brainstorm on the next one. So it removes that pressure. So my goal is to, honestly, my personal goal is to do this in 3 weeks. Because I like to think in terms of weekends. So that gives me this weekend, the 4th of July weekend, the weekend of the 10th, the weekend of the 17th, and then if I need to, I would take the weekend of the 24th to get it to her that week. But if I'm a real good girl, I can pull this off in 3 weekends, plus all the weekdays, obviously, but I get the most work done on the weekends. Like, I'm gonna see what I can do, because she tends to turn around a read in less than 2 weeks, which would then put us into the 1st or 2nd week of August. So we get to do another dev and line edit past there to get it to copy edit sometime in August, September if we need to. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. The scary part is doing it. The scary part is doing it. Darlings are going to be murdered, but it's not even like just lines this time. It's like whole chapters. I'm still sad about killing them, but I also, like, my plan actually, as much as, and I told her this, I was like, there are things I want to salvage. It's one specific like sequence of like a chapter and a half, but really one chapter. There are things in it I want to salvage. There's like spirit and vibe and a couple of beats related to the mystery that I really want to save. It's why I've been reluctant to cut it. But I told her on the phone, I was like, look, but I'm just gonna throw it in the garbage. I'm gonna get rid of it because that's way easier. And then possibly it's on the next pass where I will save those things. We're gonna see how it reads without that chapter. I know pacing wise, it's gonna solve a lot of problems, but then we'll work backwards to like figure out what I need to pull back in from that. So now I guess we get into like, how am I tackling this revision? So my gut says go linearly, because she's annotated the entire Word document just as she did with the IVs, so it makes sense to go through bit by bit. But a part of me is like, should I just jump ahead and kill that chapter now? Will that help me execute this new first act? It might. And I'm jumping between, this does make it a little complicated, I'm jumping between her annotated Word doc, working in that Word doc and Scrivener. It does make it a little messy, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I'm gonna insert B-roll of me working. I hope I remember. And yeah, I've already talked way too long here. Let's revise a book. It is Friday, July 16th. Yeah, it's been a while, but hey, look at all the kitten footage. They're growing like weeds. I have been revising. Little slow at first, but I'm kind of in the groove, but the groove is hard. I'm still like, I'm straddling Act 1 and Act 2. It's a process. I have been jumping around. I'm technically going linearly, so my editor, you know, put pretty extensive notes throughout the manuscript, and so I started at the beginning and going through it. But when I've hit spots where I don't know in that immediate moment how the heck I'm gonna address a note, like how I'm gonna fix something, I have moved on. I have moved forward and then gone back. And so it's been a little bit amorphous in terms of like, so there's one section, I deleted something pretty major and it left like detritus of scenes that my editor didn't say to cut, and I needed something to bridge between what I had and, you know, getting to the murder, and I didn't know how to fix it. I felt pretty lost, honestly. I was like, eh. So I moved on. And then like 3 or 4 days later, it was yesterday actually, I was like, oh, okay, I think I see the transition now. And so I worked on that yesterday. It's almost done. And that's how it's been. There was another section. I had to rewrite chapter 4 pretty much from scratch, though it was new but not new. And that's what so much of it is. You're recasting things, you're transplanting things from one place to another. I've done that a couple times. And I didn't know how to rewrite it yet, or I wasn't ready. So I moved forward, and then same thing, you know, I get the inspiration a few days later, it's like, oh, this is how I'm gonna do it, and I got it done. It's also been tricky because my editor does work in Microsoft Word, and your tip for TradPub, like, it depends on the editor, but yeah, very often once you turn in a draft to your editor, you're gonna be working in Microsoft Word regardless of how you work best on your manuscript. I like to edit in Scrivener, and it's just really not possible with the way that my editor annotates and works on the manuscript. But it's workable. Like, I don't want that to sound like, oh, you poor thing, you have to like bend to the will of your editor. Not really. Her way makes a lot of sense, and I get this satisfaction from working through her notes and literally seeing it transform in the Word document. But on some places where it's trickier, where I just want that split screen from Scrivener, I actually will go back and forth between her notes in Microsoft Word and my Scrivener document, so I can have like a blank page in front of me in Scrivener. I'll split screen it with what I know the original is from the chapter in my Scrivener document, and it's a little messy, but I jump between them and I can still do that kind of fresh writing in the new window in Scrivener, which really helps me when I have to write something truly new, depending on the length. Like when I have to write like a new 4-paragraph bridge, I'm not that overwhelmed working in Microsoft Word, but when it's a whole chapter, I definitely rely pretty heavily on the comfort I have in Scrivener. And it's also, of course, what's always nice is I can make any changes I want in the Word document because they still exist in Scrivener. Scrivener is a pure place where things still are. So where am I? Did I think I would be further than Act 1 by now? It is July 16th, so theoretically this is due in a week, 2 weeks-ish, 2 more weekends, including this one. Yeah, I thought I'd be further, but technically because I'm jumping back and forth, I'm both at the end of Act 1 and at the beginning of Act 2 because I've started pushing into Act 2. There are fewer notes from my editor in Act 2, so I also know the bulk of the work is Act 1, so maybe it's not so bad that it's taken me like 2.5 weeks, almost 3, to really get Act 1 where I want it to be, but it is more or less where I want it to be. Still have to finish that transition into the break into 2, and I got it polished enough that I sent it to a couple more alpha readers. I like the changes I made because they should impact character development, character setup, character development, and the romance. I've made tweaks to the romance to make it a little more slow burn. So I'm excited to hear what these new beta readers think. Like, how does the story progression work for them? They're the first pair of fresh eyes getting this new story progression. So I'm excited by that. Yeah, there are still things I have to do in Act 2 that I know I have to do in Act 2. It's one specific thing. I still have no clue what I'm gonna do. But we're gonna use this semi-jumping around thing, and then my next game plan is when I get to about the midpoint, I plan to go back to the beginning and read all the work I've done. Like, read from start up into where I am to start tracking and threading the new character arcs. No one's undergone anything too drastic. My main character has gotten a refinement of her thematic and grief arc, which was needed. And so kind of tracking her, I'll track the romance arc and the love triangle arc. And then I have some side characters who are getting a little massaging in Act 1, and I'm gonna push into Act 2, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make sure that it's really flowing. And then I anticipate the photo finish, the finish, it should, as always, feel like tumbling downhill. My editor didn't have a ton of edits for Act 3, which again, like, wow. Except she had a very smart, very incisive suggestion for tweaking the ending as it is, and then it needs like a little epilogue cap to it. But it's okay. We're okay. A little bit chaotic, but something I'll say, if I haven't said it already in this vlog, you know I never remember, that I really like about my editor, and not everyone has this with their editor isn't like this, or they don't have the relationship. One thing that I love about her, well, A, that she believes in me and she's very encouraging. I find our conversations very encouraging, but she's so warm and like warm, huggy, cuddly-ish almost about deadlines and pressure. And she's reassured me, it's okay if you don't have the most brilliant idea ever to fix that thing right now. Do this first dev pass, send it back to me, I will read it. That gives us a little more time to brainstorm. We will have fixed 80-90% of that first pass, and then on the next one, which is going to be line, we can still do some dev stuff. And that, in a sense, really removes the pressure for me, because I don't have to have the most brilliant idea I've ever had right now to fix everything. So essentially, as always, this is a problem for future Alexa, who's going to hate present Alexa, past Alexa, because present Alexa also is side-eyeing past Alexa for some of the things that I handed to myself for now. So this is the writer's cycle. It's July 25th. I'm very, very bad at vlogging. I think that's because when I get in the weeds, it's the last thing I'm thinking of. I have been in the weeds. It's been a rough week in the sense of like, I've been taking it very, very seriously. I know I'm behind. So every day, been working really hard. Took a day off work, went to a coffee shop. That was a novelty. But it really, really helped. I'm going back out again today to treat this like a job and get some work done. I'm muddling through Act 2, but the rewrites are feeling really, really good, and that is ultimately what really matters. Like, they feel right so far, knock on wood, cross fingers. And I talked to my editor, and I'm gonna send her what I have so far so that she can get a jump on reading the first half as I continue to push the second half. And the problem is, this is always how it goes, I keep having like little ideas of more ways to improve the book, and I know ultimately they will make the book better, but I'm also like, you're creating extra work for yourself, more work for yourself that will take more time when you're already behind. And yet. So yeah, I'm really bad at vlogging, but that is where we are theoretically. This is the weekend I would have been theoretically finishing it if I was on deadline. I was never given a firm deadline, as you know, and yet I know in a perfect world it would have been done by now, but it's not even halfway done, and that's just where we live right now. So yeah. It's me, the author who's incredibly bad at vlogs, because it's August 15th. I don't even know the last time I filmed, but I'm almost done with this book. I am on literally the last chapter, which is a brand new chapter. Yeah, I've been going out to coffee shops to vlog. I actually got a little bit sick. It was a cold, thank God, not COVID. That was scary. So there's a cold going around Los Angeles, putting the fear of God into all of us. Yes, I am fully vaccinated, but it was still super duper scary. My editor has Act 1 and is reading it and working on it, and so I'll be sending her like the last 2/3 of the book, hopefully tomorrow, because like, this is real. I'm almost done. I'm actually about to go to Barnes & Noble to sign some books. Again, so bad at vlogging. I went last week too, or the week before, 2 weeks ago, it all blurs together, and they've sold out of the copies, and so I have to sign more. Or was it last week? No, it was a week ago. What is time? So a week ago. And I'm gonna take my laptop and like finish up, which is really, really exciting. I hope I'll finish up, if not there tonight. And yeah, the book has a new title. That's also happened since the last time I vlogged, because I'm very, very bad at this, and I can't tell any of you what it is until like September, October. My editor wants to wait for both spooky season and also to be sure that like we like the cover comps, and that's definitely going to be the title. I'm kind of in love with it. I hope everyone likes it, and I'm definitely excited about the cover options and opportunities with this title. It's evocative, and I think that they'll be able to do something really, really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this book. I'm gonna finish this book, and then I'm gonna finish this vlog. It's happening. I never finished an ending to this vlog, so you're getting future me. Now, past me at the point that you watch this, but I'm literally editing this vlog right now, so I did it. The day after I filmed that last update, I sent the rest of my book to my editor. Now I'm in line edits, which is gonna be the next vlog. Ooh, I'm in the future. It's August 26th. You're gonna recognize what I'm wearing in this filming location when you start my line edit vlog eventually, but point is, I turned it in, I did it, I accomplished dev edits. And now I have to do all the line, etc., and we need to get this book to copy edits ASAP. So it's kind of a photo finish, but I feel a massive sense of accomplishment. It was both harder and easier than I thought. Like harder, there were some rewrites that definitely challenged me. There are some problems I left for later that are still later that I'm gonna have to do. I mean now is later. So basically we'll end on present Alexa / future Alexa. Little bit mad at past Alexa, but it's going to be okay. And it's all great from here. I'm gonna do line, we're gonna go to copy edits, I'm gonna see cover comps in a couple of weeks. You're gonna get to hear my new title from the time you see this in a couple of months. Everything is coming up roses. I feel like I'm past the worst of the storm. This may be the hardest book I've ever written, question mark, though The Stars We Steal was really hard too, but I made it through. Yeah. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching and happy writing.